What's going on, everybody? Runkly here, and this is my SGDQ 2018 submission for the game Sublevel 0 Redux. This is a 6 Degree of Freedom hardcore roguelike first-person shooter. And you'll notice almost immediately that this game is very similar to Descent, the 1995 game, which was also a 6 Degree of Freedom shooter. And since the DLC Redux came out, we're going to go ahead and use normal difficulty. That is a pretty... generally a marathon safe run, and we're going to use the Pyro, no relation to the Descent Pyro, as our ship. So we're going to start off in Sublevel 0, the first sublevel of the game. This is going to be Ingress. We'll start off in the Industrial biome. There are 4 different biomes in the game. Industrial is kind of categorized by being a little claustrophobic. This is one of the bigger rooms in the area. See plenty of smaller rooms, I'm sure. The enemy's fairly simple. You'll notice a couple of differences to Descent immediately. The power-ups that they drop, every enemy's dropping power-ups. And we had a chest back over there. Yeah, we'll do this. This is a challenge room. It's kind of early to be getting a challenge room, but good for demonstration purposes. These are typically good for getting yourself back on track if you've strayed from the path too much, and I'll explain that once we clear the room. But there can be some challenging enemies in here. I don't see a mini-boss. There can be mini-bosses in these rooms, but this one just doesn't have one, which is fine. But you'll typically see some enemies that are also a little beyond what you're used to seeing in the zone, like those purple enemies. We won't see those again until at least sub-level 1. And then once you finish it, you get this little orb here that teleports you back to where you were. In this case, it didn't teleport us all that far, but in some cases, it can teleport you a long way, which it can be really useful if you've gone the wrong way. So continuing on, we're using the flamethrower weapon. It's kind of a melee range weapon. It does a lot of damage. It's one of the better damage dealers early on. But we're going to be trying to upgrade this weapon. You just see that we got a pulsar, which is one of the 4 components that we need for our ultimate weapon. We're looking for the arc pulse. And the sooner we get the arc pulse, the sooner we can go into go mode, which will just allow us to go as fast as we can to the end of the game. And we're approaching the first reactor room. You'll notice a lot of similarities to Descent in this game. Reactors are one of them. Another pulsar. We do need 2 pulsars, so we'll pick up that second one. The second pulsar is for the alternate weapon, the gauze cannon. And we'll go ahead and go in here. We'll just hit it once with our primary weapon. As we get some other enemies get in the way here, we'll tap it with our missiles 6 times. Got 3 repair kits early on. That's pretty good. And a couple pulsars. Can't complain about that. We're on to the next sublevel. Let's see. We're going to add some plasma regen here from one of our nano carts. One of the power-ups that are dropped by the enemies is called nanites. If you get enough nanites, which is represented by the blue bar above my health at the top of the screen, you get something called a nano cart. And a nano cart basically lets you choose a perk. This is one of the larger, probably the largest room in the industrial zone. All the rooms are prefabricated, but they're connected differently every game, which is why it's a roguelike. All the drops are randomized as well. So from one game to the next, you may not necessarily have the same experience, which can be a little bit of a pain for speedrunning. The world record right now is 20 minutes, 31 seconds. And that was done because we got an early arc pulse in that game. Like, I believe it was sublevel 1. And there was some great late layouts. So this is the lava caves. This is the second biome of the game. And we're also going to see the key mechanic introduced in a moment. These big guys here, those are the missile defenders. They are very dangerous. And these guys here, lava drillers, want to take those out pretty fast too. Best way to take these guys out is with a single missile. It takes some good aiming. But since they go down to a single missile, it's pretty efficient. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing that we've reached a dead end, and this will get us back on track. Oh, there might have been a key in there. Let me see. There is a key in there. I missed that. All right, we'll go back in there. Where is the key? I completely missed it. So it was on this side. Yeah, there it is. Okay, fair enough. The game will put keys in dead ends like that, so it's good to check the map every once in a while just for that alone. And we're going to go ahead and move on here. That's actually one of the rarer key locations, which is why I did not pick up on it immediately. While it is possible, you notice that the game trends towards different, similar patterns, rather. And those patterns, you'll start to recognize them after a while. So we're going to be in the second reactor room here. Take out those lava miners. They're nasty if you don't control them quickly. These little guys are annoying. We use this weapon on them because, one, it auto-aims. As long as they're, like, decently in your range, it will try to lead them and hit them. And this is the second reactor. The important thing to note about this reactor is that it defends itself. You got those lasers. Fortunately, it doesn't have a whole lot of health. We have to take this guy out quickly. We're going to see if any of these guys drop anything good. Looks like we have a bomber hull, which is nice. That'll upgrade our hull when we have enough nanites later. Nanites also double as a crafting currency. So when you get enough nanites and the right items, you can craft things together. We're going to go ahead and get the nano cart that increases our plasma damage, because that's what the arc pulse does, is plasma damage. So we head to sublevel 2, this third level of the game. We're going to start in the lava caves this time. And I'm going to go ahead, because I do have a good amount of nanites, I'm going to make the strafer hull here. And that increases my max health. It went from 80 to 95. It also increases your inventory space as well. We're not getting a whole lot of drops this game, but the inventory space does come in handy. So this is the crystal caves here. This is the third biome of the game. This is a dangerous area here because that laser is constantly hitting that crystal, which is resulting in the crystal creating explosions. The crystal itself doesn't go away, but it will damage everything around it. Let's see where we need to go here. This is kind of a big room. A lot of these lasers in it. They're unthreatening, but if you're not looking, you might back into one or something. Little flat cannon green guys there. He didn't even get a shot off, which is nice. There's a guy that can blind you there, but otherwise not really threatening. These snipers are annoying, though. They're small, they tend to run away, and try to shoot you from a long distance away. But they have very low maneuverability, so they get taken out pretty quick. I thought I saw... There it is. That's what I was looking for. We also see the blue door here. We haven't gotten the blue key yet, so we'll continue on and see if it's in the next room. This will actually send us back to the industrial area. And we have a firebolt. Firebolt is good because that is part of our arc pulse. Not only that, but it's going to upgrade our flamethrower in a second here. As soon as we clear this room, we can't pause this game, not even to craft or anything. Take this thing out as well. Let's turret. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to craft a plasma caster. This is the level 2 weapon. It's high damage, high skill. We'll demonstrate it here in this challenge room. Maybe we'll get a mini-boss this time. Let's see. Yeah, there he is. Oh, that's not a mini-boss. That's something else. So, there's the mini-boss. This guy here. And they tend to have higher weaponry than other things. And more damaging weaponry, though. Really shred you up if you're not moving. There's 2 of them in this room. There can be 1 or 2, or there can be none. You get a fire rate buff, which is nice. They drop instant nano cards, which is really nice. That's it for this room, so we're going to go ahead and take this back to where we were, and hopefully we'll figure out where this key is. I feel like we may have just straight up missed the key, and we did. It's back there. So that's kind of hard to tell where that is. Because we do see it, but we don't see exactly where in the room it is. It's in the next room. It's off to the right here. This can't be that way. Let's see. This was one of the newer rooms in the game. That was added in the DLC, so I'm not entirely familiar with all the new rooms. There's the key. It was just hiding from us the whole time. We went right by this thing. We never even bothered to check. So now that we have the key, we'll go ahead and go through the blue door. This level is the first level that introduces 2 keys, so we're going to have to find the yellow key as well. Those little Game Boy that I just passed there, that's one of the various logs which tell the story of the game. Gist of the story is that the universe is being torn apart, and this station was the cause of it. And the story that you get are logs between various employees or notices that come across. Just check, make sure I have an HVRL. I do. And getting them all is an achievement. Takes a lot of time because the last one doesn't appear until you have all the rest. These are the guys that try to blind you. Otherwise, they do no damage. You can see this plasma caster, also very useful for taking these small bots out that move quickly. So once you have them lined up, you can fire this weapon as fast as you can press the button. We have a couple of impact rifles here. That's good for the gauze cannon. I think we actually have... Oh no, we just need the laser yet. I did see the yellow door over here on the map, so we're going to go over here and we're going to fight the 3rd reactor of the game. And it's going to be a room that we're going to have to pay attention to because there's these bombs in here. That is not going to be the only bomb. There's going to be more than just that. There's another one down there. I'm just going to take them out. Well, there's one after it too. I want to take it out because there's not a lot of room to maneuver here. Also have the flak guys. There's one coming around the corner here. This reactor room is unusually busy, let's put it that way. I think he's just hanging out over here. We'll let him do what he wants to do. If he decides to show up, we'll move. He should die to the reactor. The reactor's going to be shooting these crystals, and that's going to cause the explosions to take him out. I'll get this. It's good. And we'll see if anything over here dropped anything good. And that's exactly what happened, too, which is nice. Flamethrower, we already started with one, so we don't need another one. We'll just pick up everything else and leave the level. So far, pretty good run. We're going to be heading to Sublevel 3 next. Auto repair is pretty good. And here we go. So Sublevel 3 plays a lot like Sublevel 2 in terms of the layout, but it has the lava caves instead of the industrial zone. I have to take these guys. These guys are far more important. Take those guys out, and then we'll kill this guy. And we have an immediate challenge room. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and do it. Say I don't know if I should do it, because I could probably just turn around and be faster by not doing this room. Doesn't look like we have... Oh, yeah, we do. That one is nasty, too. I was about to say, do we have a mini-boss? We do, and he's got a nasty weapon. Fortunately, his weapon's got some charge up to it, and he's not very good at aiming it once he starts firing it. We already have the impact rifle. I did not see what I picked up there, but it's never bad, so it's good. And we'll see what this is about. Smart gun, not That is a rare tier 2 drop, but it's not a very good one. Does not become anything useful through crafting. You can use a lava to take these guys out here, just because of the tight space. Another impact rifle. We're looking for a laser as our last weapon. We also need a shredder yet as well. So we haven't seen that yet. We're going to pick up the standard hull and probably use this right away. Oh, we have plenty of nanites for this. So we're going to go ahead and create our Comanche hull, which is the top tier hull. That gives us the most ammo for our guns that we can get. Missile, that's fine. Continue on here. We have the blue door, but we haven't seen the key yet. So let's see if we can find the key without too much trouble here. First thing I do when I see it is I check the map and see if I missed it. It does not look like I did, so I'm going to guess it's going to be in one of the next rooms. One of the new DLC enemies there. And there's our blue key. Right. Thought I heard another guy, but don't see him, so I'm just going to ignore him and move on. Heading over to the blue door. As you can see, there's going to be times in this game where there's going to be some lulls to read donations, especially towards the end after a lot of things have already been explained. Going to be heading into the Crystal Caves. This is the worst room in the game. The reason why it's the worst room in the game is because it is small, cramped, and has lots of crystals in it. And it is very easy to just rush into this room only to have a whole bunch of enemies shoot at you, miss you, and hit the crystals that are immediately behind you, resulting in a game over. We're actually full up on inventory with 12 repair kits here, so we'll just eat that repair kit and get back to full health immediately. You have the option not just to pick up something, but to immediately use it as well if you hold down the button. There's exit. Whoa, hello. No safe spaces here, folks. A lot of these enemies, too. There's a ton of them just sitting in the door. You can see something bad happen there. My missile actually hit the bullet and did damage to me. Still one guy left in here. This is insane. A whole bunch of those guys. Fortunately, they also drop a bunch of repair kits, and we're going to be done with this level. This is probably one of the most dangerous reactors in the game. You want to make sure that everything in the room is safe for you to leave alive, which sometimes is not the case. And it is not the case here. We want to kill these guys because they can shoot at you and they'll do lava damage to you if their shots hit the lava. Oh, where did this guy go? There he is. Tried to sneak up on me. Alright, and we'll just go ahead and take this out because the other guys are safe to leave alive. They'll just be dropping mines the whole time. We're going to take repair kit here because we're going to take some pretty much guaranteed damage. And there goes the reactor. There's a laser. I actually want to pick that up. So there we go. I don't want a second auto repair really, but Gung Ho is really good because that means now the bombs and the mines mean absolutely nothing to me. I can literally run into them and take no damage. Exploding ships won't hurt me. Shooting a missile on the wall in front of me. Remember earlier I shot a missile at a projectile and that did damage to me? That now will not happen because explosions do no damage. The flip side to that is I now have 60 health instead of 90. But that's the risk you take. We're in Sublevel 4. Demonstration of this perk, by the way. Bomb blew up right up. on my face there and did nothing. We're still looking for our shredder. And just as I say that, a shredder appears. So we're going to go ahead and make our spread pulse. We'll determine that this one is better. And after spread pulse, we'll make our arc pulse. In addition to this, I'm going to go ahead and make the minigun along... Oh, I do not have... Okay. Oh, I made the railgun. Let me make the minigun. The railgun was correct. The minigun and the railgun together will make the Gauss cannon. And just like that, we're at full build. So with that, it is go mode and time to move. You'll notice that this weapon is extremely overpowered. It's intended to be. Unfortunately, I am at a loss as to where the exit is here, so look, it's in the floor. But it's not a good one. It's going to send us back somewhere. We'll go ahead and do this challenge room. On the arc pulse, it should be fairly easy. And you can see that mini-boss, he just melted it in my face. That one as well. Neither of those mini-bosses got any attacks off. This is a stun buff, which means enemies have a chance to be stunned when I hit them, which can be useful. And an energy buff, not so useful. We don't use energy weapons. Well, let's go. Another smart gun. That's the second smart gun drop in this game. That is really bizarre that it would drop multiple tier 2 weapons. Anyway, this is the military zone. Oh, well, this is where we started, actually. So we'll get to the military zone when we actually get to it. It's one of the interesting things about the teleportation system is that it doesn't keep your rotation. So you can sometimes get fooled into thinking that the exit in front of you is going to be a certain one when it's a different one. That's what happened there. Let's see where we need to go here. It looks like it's going to be off to the left. I'm still looking for repair kits, even though I have 11. When I'm in go mode, I tend to take hits. So I will try not to take hits or get a lot of repair kits. One of the two. Not a dangerous room here because nothing can hurt me. We'll move on. Let's see, where do we have to go here? Looks like this way. And now we're going to enter the military zone proper. Military zone is bigger, much bigger rooms. Typically, this was one of the smaller rooms in the zone, actually, and a metric boatload of enemies. There are a lot of enemies in this zone, and they get even thicker on the next sublevel. There's the yellow door, but unfortunately, we do not have the yellow key yet. So we still need to figure out where exactly we need to go. This is a blue door. Okay, so this is going to be what I call a blue-red finish. This is a first sublevel that has 3 keys. Blue, red, and yellow. In this case, since you see the blue and the yellow door in the same room, what that tells you is that the red door will be behind the blue door 100% of the time. It's just simply the way the game generates the levels. And since we know that, it's going to be a pretty quick finish as soon as we find the keys. I don't think the key's going to be in this room, though, so we'll have to check another room. Nice repair kit, find. This is also dead end, too. That's going to be very convenient, because we can literally pick this up, use this, and get back to the room where the blue door was, which is going to be not this way, I don't think. It's going to be this way. So that's a good time save. Those teleporters, by the way, they were added in the DLC. They did not exist before. Those purple guys I just blew up, they generate enemies, so very important that you take those out quickly if you plan on spending too much time in a room. You can see I'm mostly just plowing through the rooms, not really caring what enemies are in there. If it's not in my direct line of sight, I tend not to fire at them. This is go mode. This is because we have full build. We literally need nothing but repair kits. couple of lasers in here can ruin your day, though. Gotta be careful with those. Those enemies can be particularly annoying. This is the reactor for Sublevel 4. And this one is a little different. I'll try to explain this as quickly as possible. It's a multi-phase fight. And in the first phase, it's going to create these swarmers and a couple of extra turrets. And in the second phase, it's going to just shoot at me. Now, this is happening so fast, you really don't see the phases happen. That's the power of the Arc Pulse. We'll head to Sublevel 5. Really don't need any of this here. We're going to take the missile regen. That'll make sure that we always at least have some missiles. And this is the final level of the game, Sublevel 5. It plays pretty much exactly like Sublevel 4, except you can see the lava caves in this one. And that's what we'll... Oh, we're actually not heading into lava caves. So this is kind of a oddball zone. We'll see what the trick is here, because this can mean a number of things in terms of layout. As you can see, we're just going. Lighting is pretty unusual in here. It's Redux. Oh, we're going to go into the military zone pretty much immediately. And I see a blue key already. So there's the blue key. Going to take out the dangerous enemies here. These missile defenders. We do not want to leave those around. There's the yellow door. And it's going to be another blue-red finish. This is actually one of the fastest Sublevel 5s I've ever seen. So we're going to go ahead and pick up that yellow key, head over to the yellow door. Very fast. This is, wish I had this in a run I was timing. It's going to be in the next room, looks like. Let's see if we can find it immediately. There it is, right on the side. I want to leave him around. He can hurt. Alright, now let's head to the red door and be done with the game. The music you're listening to by William Bedford is a fantastic composer. I love the soundtrack for this game. Highly recommend you check it out. One of the things that you'll notice it does is that the intensity of the music changes depending on how many enemies you're fighting at once. It's personally one of my favorite features of the game. I really like that. A lot of missile defenders here, but don't really mean a whole lot when they just melt to the arc pulse. And we're just looking for the red door at this point. That is the last thing we need. It's going to be here. Oh, well, we'll have to go through one of the largest rooms in the game to find it. Okay, we found a red X, so we know it's not to the left. Sometimes you can cheat the game into telling you which way to go. This is actually the largest room in the game. There's no room larger. Actually, it looks like there's a bunch of hallways. It is one big prefabricated room. This should be the correct way to go, I would imagine. Yep, there's the red door. Let's go. We'll finish the game. Alright, so again, we'll explain this final reactor as best as I can. The reactor starts off shielded. As soon as you hit it, it begins phase 1, which is these two pillars on the side. They'll appear. We will take them out very quickly. If we don't take them out, enemies will continue to spawn for the rest of the game. We're going to move to the Gauss cannon here because we're out of ammunition for the other one for the moment. Alright, so now that we've killed those, the shield on the reactor comes down and we can start working on the reactor. This is kind of known as Phase 2. Phase 3 is when the swarmers appear, and a whole bunch of turrets on the wall. I'm actually going to move around here because this is way too many enemies for my liking. This is the final phase. Phase 4, when it blows off the reactor, the stuff protecting the reactor and starts actually attacking you directly. And that's the game right there. Sublevel 0. Very fast reactor fights just simply because of the arc pulse. And that's the game. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Really hoping this gets into SGDQ. We have now played this in 2 shots fired marathons. We will be playing this at 2018 CaliFon in April. Would be more than happy to show off this game at SGDQ as well. So hope to see you in Minnesota. Till then, see you, bye.